it comes to dealing with narcissistic individuals, they tend to run off at least 5 of the 9 criteria in the DSM-5. And these are things like a sense of entitlement, requiring that excessive attention, the grandiosity, the arrogance, the belief that they are special, the lack of empathy, the envy towards other people, and more. And then they also sort of branch off into their own different personality types. So you can have more of a grandiose narcissist who's going to be more overt and in your face once you understand the behaviour. Even the grandiose, overt narcissist can come across as confident and charming and somebody that you'd perhaps like to spend time around. Whereby the covert narcissist is more underhand, more subtle. You don't always see who they are. And even when we do see who they are, most of us have no clue about boundaries or gaslighting or red flags or narcissistic individuals until we've been around that one person that caused us to educate ourselves in the behaviour so that we can understand what we're dealing with and what on earth we've just been through. When it comes to covert narcissists, they are more subtle and they are a lot more harder to detect than their overt counterparts. The covert narcissist is usually the more fragile, the vulnerable narcissist, the woe is me victim, the most hard done to person you could ever meet in your life. And as people can have had terrible things happen to them, you can't help but feel sorry for them, even though it's not somebody who's just had terrible things happen to them. It's a narcissistic individual that goes around creating a reality where they can be the victim to gain the sympathetic attention. Their behaviour is driven by the same underlying needs for admiration and control. Their lack of empathy means they're still quite capable of destroying those around them. However, there's different behaviours that define a covert narcissist. They have that sort of hidden sense of superiority. Unlike overts who will openly flaunt their grandiosity, walk into the party like they're the life and the soul of the party, the covert can come across as more of an introvert. They're not an introverted person. Introverted people don't tend to try and destroy others. Covert narcissists do. Covert narcissists often feel superior, feel like they're better than you. They go around ignoring people they believe are inferior and then play the victim and claim the people they are ignoring, hate them because they believe that everybody is paying attention to them. They might share these feelings with people who are close, but they're not going to share them with many. They can downplay their achievements, not because they're being humble, but because they want you to go all out to tell them how incredible they are. They expect admiration. They demand special treatment. Yet they do so in subtle ways. They have that victim mentality. Covert narcissists frequently play the victim in the reality that they created. And because they are playing the victim, they kind of morph into the victim. It becomes their personality and it leads to their personal reality. They use self-pity to manipulate others into giving them attention and sympathy. They often present themselves as misunderstood or oppressed, even when they are actually the cause of their own problems. But as they don't take responsibility, they're going to blame everybody else other than themselves. And as people can be a victim of circumstances, people tend to feel sorry for them, not recognising that it's not a genuine victim. It's a covert narcissist playing the victim to gain the sympathetic attention. They'll walk away from their own children and then play the victim, claiming that everyone else is the issue. They display a lot of passive-aggressive behaviours. Instead of being openly confrontational, which when you're dealing with a narcissistic individual, you can then believe that you're the narcissist, because it can be quite challenging confronting a narcissist and you end up walking on eggshells around them. However, there's a difference between walking on eggshells around a narcissist and a narcissist using passive-aggressive behaviours to control the victim into walking on eggshells around them. Narcissists often express anger and rage if they suffer a narcissistic injury. With a covert narcissist, they display their anger and their frustration in more indirect ways. They use sarcasm, they use guilt tripping, they use backhanded compliments, they sulk, they pout, they fall silent to get their way without overtly challenging anyone. They also use things like dry begging so that they can get you to give something to them, and then later down the line they can claim, well, I never asked you to. They have chronic envy. Like other narcissists, covert types feel intense envy towards others that they perceive as more successful or happier than they are themselves. However, they are less likely to display this openly. They often internalize their jealousy and they use it to fuel their own sense of inadequacy. They have that need for validation. Covert narcissists still crave the validation that the overt narcissist does, but they do so in a lot more subtle ways, such as fishing for compliments. Oh, nobody ever asks how my day's been. Oh, is that all the thanks I get? And then when you dare to confront them on anything, they turn around and say, you're the one that always tells me how amazing I am. They look for those compliments from others, which is why they downplay anything in order to get you to raise them up. They're looking for that reassurance, especially if they feel slighted or ignored. They do not like being ignored. They look to gain a reaction. They go all out to isolate people, and they can even isolate themselves. People can isolate themselves for many reasons, from things like being around a narcissist or feeling ashamed of themselves for things that they shouldn't be ashamed of, or things like depression, or just having enough of mingling with people and needing some time out. With narcissistic individuals, they create a emotional distance from others, preferring to keep a small circle of people who will enable them, who will validate them, so that they can feel superior in the story they're telling to those around them. They often lack emotional expression. Now, victims of narcissists can shut down their emotional expression due to being dismissed, belittled, criticised and mocked every time they try to discuss or show any of their feelings. With a covert narcissist, unlike an overt narcissist who may express their emotions boldly when needed, covert narcissists tend to internalise their feelings, and it can make them appear distant or moody and emotionally unavailable. Because they are being distant, moody and emotionally unavailable, they're not interested in you, they're too wrapped up in themselves. Which again, people with depression can go through this at a stage. With a narcissist, they've got the criteria and it's a pervasive pattern of behaviour. They go all out to destroy others to feel better about themselves. Genuine people usually end up destroying themselves, not those around them. Narcissistic individuals still expect others to cater to their every demand, cater to their emotional needs. Navigating relationships with a covert narcissist is incredibly challenging, It's even harder to try and call one out. They use subtle, emotional and manipulative mind games. The best way to deal with this is set boundaries for yourself of behaviours you will and will not tolerate from other people. Recognise the behaviours early on, so educate yourself on the behaviours, and get to know people for who they are and not who they sell themselves to be, because people can be going through things. However, narcissistic people will put you through things and then blame you for their behaviour. When it comes to dealing with narcissists, the best way to deal with them is to go limited contact and grey rock, or go no contact if possible. Thank you very much to all the returning subscribers and your continued support with the channel. It's greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, I'm Elizabeth Shaw. This channel is all about narcissistic behaviour, to give you more understanding of the people you might be dealing with within your life, how to handle yourself around those people if you cannot go no contact, and different methods to find what works for you to help you understand and overcome narcissistic and emotional abuse. If you do find the information helpful on the channel, please do subscribe. If you are looking for further help and support in understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse, I do have several online guides available, and those teachable links are in the video description. If you're looking for someone to speak to, I have partnered with BetterHelp, and their sponsored link is also in the video description. I do also have several books out on Amazon, how to create boundaries around those who have no respect for your boundaries, such as narcissistic individuals. I also have a Narcissists Handbook, which is the ultimate guide to understanding and overcoming narcissistic and emotional abuse. Healing from Narcissistic Abuse, a guided journal for recovery and empowerment. 15 rules to deal with narcissistic people, how to stay sane and break the chain. And the new novel on the rise of the narcissist, Behind the Mask, which is going to be the first, hopefully, in a 3-part series. All these books are available on Amazon if you'd like to go and check those out. Thank you very much for watching. Go out there and create the day that you deserve, because you do deserve to have an amazing day. Bye.